I do normally cook with my hair up, but it's on the camera. Who cares if there's hair in the food? Cut that out. All right, you ready? I like making people happy with food. They have an opportunity to try kosher barbecue and see that it's just as good, if not better, than barbecue they've had at non-kosher restaurants. I'm like that classical Jewish mother. I love making people happy with food. My name is Danny Goldblat, and we are in Tarzana, California, in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. Today, we're gonna make veal pastrami, and we're gonna surprise someone really important to me with it. Surprise!
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm Danny, and this is the grill next door. So the first thing with the veal pastrami is starting off with really high quality meat. This is roast veal. This cut in particular comes from the navel, which is a little fattier. Navel also is where a lot of bacon, or in our case, beef bacon, comes from. When we smoke meat, we usually fire up the smoker before we prep the meat because it can take time for it to heat up depending on the smoker you're using. A 500-gallon smoker can take a good couple hours to get to the temperature you want. The rub today we used on the pastrami is a really traditional pastrami rub. It's heavy in coriander. There's garlic and onion powder in there, mustard powder, paprika for color, and brown sugar. Next step, we gotta toast some spices. We have coriander, black peppercorn, and mustard seeds in here. Toasting it'll help us bring out the aromatic flavors before we do a rough grind to it. Let's see how that looks. Oh man, that looks nice. It's important to make sure there's no clumps in here. You don't wanna be biting into a big piece of sugar or a big piece of mustard powder. Okay, and now we're ready to rub the meat. This also sounds really dirty. Hold on. Okay, we're ready to put the rub on the meat. So anything like corned beef or pastrami, you first brine. Some people call it pickling, about 3 to 4 days in my case. You take it out of the brine and put it in fresh cold water overnight to desalinate it. You need to draw some of that saltiness out of it, otherwise it'll be inedible. But one of the cool things is you don't need to add salt to it. So you can put on the rub as heavy as you want to really help us create that really nice bark. Holy Smokes is something I created for fun. It was just an Instagram. I was documenting my smoking adventures and anything related to meat. And over time, I just started having more and more fun with it and realized I had something going there. The kosher food scene's really grown over the past, I'd say 10 to 15 years. And there's a guy out in New York who's really like the king of kosher barbecue. And from there, places started popping up and it became more popular. I had actually never tasted it, but I just wanted it. I wanted to try everything I couldn't have in the non-kosher world, so I just made it myself. I think we're ready to put this baby on the smoker. So there's really no kosher barbecue scene in California. There's not many things that set kosher barbecue apart from traditional barbecue except the pork factor. We don't use pork. And kosher barbecue is very specific because kosher consumers need to make sure that it's up to the dietary requirements of Jewish law. But otherwise, all the spices are the same. You can get almost everything kosher that you would need. Good night, beautiful. See you in a little bit. So we're gonna make some potato kugel that's loaded with some beef bacon, because we can't have pork, and fried shallots. So we're gonna shred the potatoes. Barbecue definitely brings the community together. People smell it, they follow their nose. When I'm smoking in the front yard in the trailer, people walk by and they're like, I smelled something, what is that? And it's actually a great way that I met so many of my neighbors that I didn't know before. So now we're gonna mix all the ingredients together before we pour it into our casserole dish. The sizzle. The one thing I'll add is, honestly, sometimes after smoking meat for 15 hours, I don't want to eat it. I've had so much smoke in my face and been smelling it. I'll usually wait the next day to eat it. Sometimes I'll have a bite, but it's not like I can sit down for a meal of smoked meat right after I cook it. So when the meat temperature is about 175 to 180 and the fat has rendered and I like the color we have on it, I'll finish it off in some butcher paper with a little bit of beef tallow on it. That steams it a little bit within it, but also doesn't steam it a lot like foil. It does allow some humidity out, and that just kind of softens the bark a little bit before the final product is out. We'll let it come out, rest it a couple hours, and then slice it for a sandwich. This is beautiful. We got some classic rye from a kosher deli. We're gonna put some mayo, mustard, and some delicious sauerkraut on it, and just have a different kind of pastrami sandwich. I'm gonna pile this nice and high. Classic deli pastrami sandwich, but with veal. Sweet. And this is one of my favorite pieces because the end, it's all crispy like hash browns. We're gonna take this awesome sandwich to my good friend and neighbor, Emma, and we're gonna bring it with a side of potato kugel that's loaded with beef, bacon, and fried shallots.
What's up?
Oh my gosh, what is this?
I got a little surprise for you.
You want a bite?
I want the whole thing.
All right.
Oh my gosh, the flavors are crazy. So good.
This veal pastrami really turned out so well. And on a sandwich with that sauerkraut, this has to be on my menu. Oh, now it's time to clean and eat. The rest of it for me. This was Twisted's Grill Next Door. Remember to like and subscribe.